The Olympic Games have wrapped up in Paris, but the controversy is far from over. The closing ceremony kicked off Sunday night, bringing 2 weeks of intense competition to a close. But unlike the grand opening on the streets of Paris, this time the spectacle returned to the Stade de France. And yet, just like the opening ceremony, the closing event did not escape criticism. After a highly controversial start, accused of mocking Christianity with a Last Supper parody featuring trans and drag performers, viewers watched the closing ceremony with a keen eye, which featured a performance that many have also now found unsettling. The main act? A golden voyager wandering a desolate earth, encountering the goddess Nike and a host of acrobatic performers. BBC's Andrew Cotter described it as a dark and deserted earth, while Hazel Irvine introduced Nike as the ancient goddess of victory. But the symbolism didn't sit well with everyone. Despite the explanation, many felt the symbolism of using a headless angel-winged figure alongside an unidentifiable protagonist and hordes of unidentifiable followers came across as demonic, with some even branding it satanic garbage. One viewer on X tweeted out their dismay, stating it was evil. The Olympics started with the mockery of the Last Supper and ends with a headless angel. These people are demonic. This is evil. What a kick in the face to the athletes who trained their whole lives to be here. Another commented that a lot of evil was displayed at the Olympics this year. A third was not impressed with the inclusion of Nike, questioning how a headless angel symbolises victory. Still, not everyone was critical. Some praised the ceremony for what it brought to the table, claiming it redeemed what the opening ceremony lacked. And despite the backlash, Team GB celebrated their success with 65 medals, topping their total from Tokyo 2020. But the main controversy? The lingering shadow of that opening ceremony. The Vatican also released a statement on this opening ceremony, stating that a prestigious event where the whole world comes together to share common values, there should be no illusions ridiculing the religious convictions of many people. The freedom of expression, which is clearly not called into question here, is limited by respect for others. GBNews presenter Nana Akweer also didn't hold back in her summary of the opening ceremony just a couple of weeks ago.
I'm sorry, but I can't stop laughing at this. It's the Last Supper. What the hell is going on? Unless you've been living under a rock, you could have possibly missed the havoc caused by the orchestrated arson attacks on the rail network in France, responsible for bringing many, including athletes, to Paris in time for the opening ceremony for the Olympics, which aired last night. But after seeing that, many are wondering why they bothered. A ceremony that looks as if it had been created by someone on a serious acid trip. It was a very watery event which began on the River Seine with 85 boats, with the athletes on board travelling through a lesson in French history. Every stereotype was there. A woman in a dress covered in croissants, can-can dancing. Lady Gaga gave a great performance. Moulin Rouge dancers and parkour on rooftops. There was a ring of fire in the sky and a recently refurbished Notre Dame Cathedral which featured. There were gaffes with country names. South Korea was labelled North Korea. You don't want to do that. There were upside-down flags and a headless Marie Antoinette. Thank God for the closing performance, which was a rendition of Edith Piaf's Hymn to Love, performed by Celine Dion, who is currently battling health issues, though I think God probably would have checked out by now after the woke parody of The Last Supper, which included a blue-coloured character which could have easily been mistaken for Iggle Piggle from the Night Garden, who I thought was meant to be Jesus, but that actually turned out to be Dionysus, the Greek god of the theatre. Around the table were dancers, models, fashion icons and drag queen Nikki Doll from the French version of RuPaul's Drag Race. One of them even looks like me on there. I think this was meant to be some sort of fashion show with a female DJ. Many called it a woke parody of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. It was shocking. On X, Elon Musk claimed the performance was extremely disrespectful to Christians, and I'm inclined to agree. Remember what happened with Charlie Hebdo. I can't imagine any other faith taking this lying down. The whole thing was bizarre. Attended by an estimated 600,000 spectators, it was a 4-hour show full of technical glitches, bad audio and near torrential rain, with people joking that they really needed to stop the boats.
Olympics organisers have been forced to issue an apology, stating that there was no intention to offend. A Paris 2024 spokesperson tried to smooth things over, expressing regret if anyone took offence, stating, "Clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. The opening ceremony tried to celebrate community tolerance." But with so much debate surrounding the Games, the legacy of Paris 2024 may be more controversial than triumphant. Daniel Smith, GB News.